Assalamualaikum everyone. In this video we are going to build an AI research assistant completely in Python. And the best part is the entire project is surprisingly small. A few Python files and 4 libraries. Along the way you learn search the web, extract clean article text using Trafilatura, use the Google Gemini API SDK with Python, engineer prompts for better summaries, combine multiple AI summaries into final report, and structure a real-world Python project that you can actually extend later. By the end of this video, you will have your own AI-powered research assistant that can save you hours of reading whenever you need to learn about a new topic. Before we jump into the code, I have something that will make you follow along much easier. I have written a detailed blog post for this project where I explain every step in depth. It includes the complete source code, setup instruction, explanations for each file, and why I made certain design decisions. I have also included the GitHub repository so you can clone the project, experiment with it, and build on top of it yourself. You'll find the link for the blog post in the description of this video. So if you are ready, grab your favorite code editor and let's start building. For me, I'm going to use PyCharm. If you prefer something else like Visual Studio Code or Cursor, you are feel free to do so. Let's open the project. Let's open the project folder. In here I'm going to create a new folder with name of tutorial, so code. Okay, let me open it. It automatically created main.py file and written some code. Let me just make the font a little bit bigger before doing anything else. Appearance and behavior, then go to appearance. In here the font size will be 18. Apply, then the code from editor, the font size here also make it 18. Actually I'm making it 18, not necessarily you have to. Just stick with what comfortable with you. Okay, I'm just get rid of this code. I don't need this. And here I'm going to create the virtual environment Python 3 mdnv.bnv. Okay, I made a mistake. This should be m, not n. And here we'll create our virtual environment, and let's activate the virtual environment source.bnv bin activate. For Windows user, the command is a little bit different. If you want to create virtual environment on Windows, the command is this python-amvnv.bnv, name of the virtual environment you are going to create, and to activate it, the command is quite different. This is the command .bnv /scripts /activate. Since I am using Linux, now I am going to create a requirements.txt file. I'm going to list all the packages I have used in this project. Requirements.txt. This is the requirements.txt. We have those packages. Let me just copy name of those packages and paste it in the requirements file in here. Okay, DDGS for searching, and Trafilatura for better text formatting, and request for requesting the web, and this Google Gen AI for prompting Gemini. Now I'm going to install all those packages. Pip install requirements, and it will install all those packages. And let me set the project interpreter so it will know which environment is to use. So in here go to Python interpreter. I'm going to add the interpreter at local interpreter. Since we already have an existing interpreter, let's select this, and this is the file. Okay, tutorial code.bnv bin and the Python. This is the Python we are going to use. Okay, let's select OK, and okay, it looks okay. Now we can also do like this, pip freeze. It will list all the packages to our requirements file. It will specify the version of each module. We have listed only 4 modules, but you can see plenty of them because most of them are coming from default virtual environment. So all of them you don't need to install manually. When you create virtual environment, most of them are created. So let me just get rid of them, which is created by virtual environments. We only need to install those 4 modules manually. First of all, I am going to work with main.py. This is the entry point for the AI Research Assistant. The workflow is very simple. The user will be asked a topic. From that topic, we are going to search on the internet and will fetch from top 3 URLs and extract the text. After getting all those text, we are going to summarize using Gemini. Then we'll generate a report with Gemini. First of all, I'm going to import future, import annotations. Let's start by importing the modules we'll use throughout the project. We'll use argparse to accept command line arguments. Then we are going to import logging to display useful logs. Moreover, we are importing SOS for a few system related operations. This annotation actually enables a more flexible way to writing types hint. Next, let's configure our logger. To configure our logger, we'll do like this: logging dot basic configure. Here label will be logging dot info, then format. Just pause for a few seconds and write this format. I'll explain what this format does actually. Then logger is equal logging dot get logger, and the name of the logger will be the name of the file. Here we are setting the logging level info, so our application will display useful messages while it is running. We also define a custom log format that includes the timestamp, log level, logger name, and actual message. Finally, we create a logger instance that we'll use throughout the project to print consistent and professional logs. Then I am going to create main function. In main function, we are going to return nothing, so just write none, and in here parser is equal argparse dot argument. Actually it will be argument parser, and here we need to specify the description. You can write any description you want, just explain what this argument does. So I have written AI Research Assistant. It search, summarize and report on a topic. Parser dot add argument, and in here we need to pass topic. After topic, nargs is equal everything, and health is equal Now we are defining our command line interface. We create an argument parser with a short description of our application. Then add a topic argument. This lets us provide the research topic directly from the terminal. Then again I am going to add 2 more argument. Okay. Then here the first argument was topic, the second argument will be n, and the third one will be name of the flux. It is written here. Okay, the flux name will be in here. Okay, so O, and Another, this argument extended version is num results. Okay, and the helping text will be this. Let me just paste it here. Okay, it is creating 2 double quotation mark. I don't want that. And in here I'm going to set default is 3. So actually the number of search result to use by default, the value will be 3, but we can set many more values as well. And here this is the output. Okay, this is the helping text. Output markdown file path. Default is report.md, so let me say default. Okay, this is the default file name for our report, and I guess I made a mistake. I'm not sure where. Okay, I need to put a comma. Now here args is equal parser dot parse args. Basically we are adding 2 optional command line arguments. The first one lets us choose how many search results to use. Finally argparse reads all the arguments from the terminal and store them inside args object. Now let's make a topic variable. In here we want a space join. Okay, we are going to join all the args topic with a space, and we are going to strip as well. Then we are going to add a few if condition. If not topic, then topic is equal input enter a research topic strip. Then again create another if condition. If not topic, if still we don't input any topic, then it will say topic is equal no topic provided exiting. Then we are going to exit from here, sys.exit. We are no longer going to run our code. Next I am going to create a try catch block, try path. Let me just accept exception as E. Then I'm going to log error pipeline failed, and in here is the percentage is E. This is the exception we got. Again I'm going to print something in here. It will actually in this print statement it will say the report is generated in this path. I'm going to define this path, and this should be outside of this try catch block. In here I'm going to call a function run. I'm going to create this function, but let me just keep it like this. TOPIC topic num results args.num results, then output path is equal args.output. Now let's create this run function. To create a function in Python you just need to define def, and in here I'm going to create that function. Actually this would be indentation. For now I'm just going to pass. Now I'm going to accept all those parameters: topic, num results, and output path. Let me just specify here. There will be no value in here and in here as well. We can make this function better by defining type string. This is the type, this will be type of string, and this will be type of integer with default value of 3, and this will also be type of string and with default value of report.md, and it will return string. In here we are just logging the step 1 of 5, searching the web for the topic, and in here we are going to paste the URL and number of result. Actually this will return URL which we are going to return from this search topic, and I'm going to create a search file. Inside the search file will have search topic. Let me just pass it for now. This is a function, so we need to do like this, and in here I'm going to import from search import search topic. Here we are accepting topic and number of results. Let me copy these two parameters and paste it inside search topic. Since we'll return URLs, then we are going to specify the return type as a string as well. And in here we are looping through all the URL, and it will just log all those URL in proper format with this logger. So let me create this search topic function first, then we'll continue from here in the run function. Okay, actually this will return a list string. This list will come from typing, okay, from typing import list. In here we will search the web using a package called DDGS. Let me import that first. This is the package we are going to use to search the web. First of all, let's handle the error. If not topic or not topic dot strip, then we are going to raise an error, value error, topic must not be empty, search topic must not be empty. Then create a variable URLs. This is going to be type of list string. This is what we are going to return. Actually, return URLs. I have provided this extra which I don't need. In here let's use a try catch block. Try, for now let's pass exception. It will be accept exception as E. Then in here again I'm going to import logging, and let me create an instance of logging. Logger is equal logging dot get logger name. Okay, so this is the logger we are going to use to show the error, and it will say search failed for the topic. This is the topic and this is the error we have created as exception E. Once we get an error, will rise as the exception. But inside this try block we are going to do like this with DDGS as DDGS with this results. Actually let me write it first, then let me make it DDGS actually. Then pass topic and number of result. Actually it will be max underscore results will be number of results. Then create a for loop for result in results. Then URL is equal result dot get. Will get all the href from the result, or do like this, result dot get URL. If we get the URL, then urls dot append URL. Else if URL length of URLs is greater than or equal number of length of URLs is greater than or equal number of results, then we'll break the loop. Okay, let me go through this again. We start with an empty list to store the URLs. Then we search for the given topic and loop through the results. For each result, we extract the URL and add it to our list until we collected the number of results we requested. Then again in here, I am going to create a if statement with name of file main. So it will call always import SOS. So actually it will start from here, then run this. Okay, hope you understand. Here let me do like this, logging dot basic config. Then actually I need to set label is going to be info, and after that I am going to create a for loop for I means the index number, u in enumerate search topic query. This query where we need to define in here, actually query is equal, again I am going to join sys dot argv 1 0 or Docker versus Podman. In here enumerate search topic query, then I'm going to start from 1, and in here I'm going to print with f string f I, then dot u. Okay, I made a mistake here. There will be no 0 in here. Let me explain this. This block actually for testing. The condition if main, this actually ensure the code only runs when we execute this file. It will not work if we import it to another module. Here we configure basic logging. Then read the search query from the command line argument using sys.argv. This expression combines all the arguments into single search query. If no query is provided, it falls back to Docker versus Podman as default topic. Finally, we call search topic and use enumerate to print each URL with a numbered index, making it easy to verify that our search function is working correctly. Now again in our main function, we have used this logger to log that extracting page text from URLs. And this is the page text we'll get from this function. We haven't created this function. We are going to create this function actually. For that I am going to create a new file. The file name will be scrapper, and in scrapper This is the function we are going to need. Let's pass it for now. I'm going to import it from scraper import extract text. Okay, let me copy those imports and I'm going to use them inside scraper as well. We don't need this, actually we don't need this basic setting in here. We are just going to need logger and get logger. Instead of main, I'm going to dynamically use this name, so it will dynamically know the name of the file, which is scraper.py. Okay, inside this extract text function, I'm going to pass the parameter URL, which is going to be type of string. Then timeout, we should set a timeout number. This is going to be type of integer, and by default the timeout value will be 15 seconds. Then we'll return something, and we are going to specify that return type, which is going to be optional return, optional, and we are going to return optional string. Basically, with this function, we are going to fetch a URL and extract its main article text. There is a typo. Let me fix it. To download the page, we are going to need a module. The module name is Trafilatura. This is little bit complex to pronounce. Forgive me if I made any mistake. So now we are going to use this module. Downloaded is equal Trafilatura, I guess. This is the name of the module we are going to use, and we are going to fetch the URL from this URL. Okay, now we are going to make a if condition. If not downloaded, then logger.warning, we are going to send a warning, would not retrieve for and we are going to return from here with none value. Now let's convert this to text. This is the variable name text. Dracula dot extract, then downloaded, then the second parameter will be include comments. We don't want any comments. Then include tables. No, we don't need that. False. Then include, then true. Let me take it to another line and let me make it little bit smaller so you can see it properly. Then again I'm going to use another if loop. If not text or not text dot strip, then we are going to log the warning again. Logger dot warning. Here no extractable text for the URL. Again I'm going to return from here with none. I made this mistake again, and again I'm going to return from here, return text dot strip. Okay, let me explain this again. This is the function extract text we have created. Then we have imported this module Trafilatura. This is a module to remove ads, menus or other unnecessary elements, leaving us with the actual article text. We have called Trafilatura fetch URL to download the HTML of the given web page. If the page cannot be downloaded, then we are going to send a warning that cannot retrieve content for the URL. Next, we pass the downloaded HTML to Trafilatura extract. Here we disable the comments and tables and enable the favor precision true, so the library focuses on extracting clean, high quality content. Finally, we check whether any text was extracted. If the result is empty, we return none. Otherwise, we remove any extra whiteface with a strip and return the clean text. This clean text will be used by our AI assistant in the summarization step. Then again, just like search, let me copy this and paste it inside a scraper. Here, instead of this, let me copy this, and we are going to extract the test URL. Test URL is equal if len.argv is greater than or on, else none. Actually, it will not return none. Let's use an example website. The example website will be https blog.webdevlab, which is my own website, webdevlab, and let's test it. We don't need those lines actually. Now content is equal extract text, then test URL. Okay, let me print this. I'm just going to explain this code once again. This block is just only for testing our function. We first check whether a URL was provided from the terminal. If it wasn't, we use blog.webdevlab.org as our default URL. One more thing, this variable name should be timeout, not time, and we set it 15 seconds by default. So I'm not passing any timeout, just passing the test URL. Then we pass the URL to extract text. If the text is successfully extracted, we print only first 1000 character using :1000. This will make the output easier to read. Else we simply print no text extracted. Let's actually try it out. Let me run this scraper. Python scraper.py. Let me see it. Yeah, it's saying exploring cutting edge. This is the text from my website. Actually, I am getting all the necessary information from this website. That means our function is working successfully. Let me check the search as well. Just do like this, Python search.py. We search on the website. We got those 3 URLs at the top of our search list. And we are going to extract all the text using this scraper, using a function extract text from this scraper file. So let me do all of those inside this main.py file. Actually, instead of one function, we should make 2 functions. One for extracting one single article, another one for extracting multiple articles as well. Let me just copy this and paste it below here. One with plural number, another one with singular number text. Okay, so we are not going to touch anything in here, since all of this what we needed. We want to extract an article from one single URL, but in here we are going to accept multiple URL. That is why we are going to say URLs instead of URL in the parameter. Now let me just get rid of all of this. In here we are not going to return optional string. Instead, we are going to return a dictionary with string as key and string as value as well. Then in here we are going to create a for loop. Actually, results is going to be a type of dict string. This is the result we are going to return. Results, in here we are going to create the for loop. After this results, for URL in URLs, then Here we are going to create a variable that name is text, extract text, URL, timeout. Then again I'm going to use else condition, if and else condition. If there is a text, then results, this is the key and this is the value in this dictionary. Afterward we are going to make a else condition, else this is the warning is keeping the URL, no usable text extracted. The new extract text function makes a collection of URLs. We start with an empty dictionary called results, where the key is the URL and the value is the extracted text. Then we loop through each URL and call extract text. If we get valid content, we store it in dictionary using results URL is equal text. Otherwise, we log a message saying we are skipping that URL. And here we have imported extract text with plural number text. Now inside this run function, we have multiple URL. Therefore, we are calling extract text and we'll get all the page text as a dictionary format. Okay, let me remind you one thing. We are working inside this run function. After extracting text from all the web pages, we check whether we actually got any usable content or not. If page text is empty, it means every extraction failed. In that case, we raise a runtime error with a clear message explaining what went wrong and suggesting problem reasons, such as trying a different topic or check the internet connection that prevents the rest of the program from running with empty data. Here we have created a log saying that summarizing the number of pages with Gemini. Actually, the length of the pages will be displayed in here with this percentage D. This is D means decimal. It will print the decimals. So let me create a variables. The name of the variables will be summaries is equal a empty list. In here we are going to append all the summaries we get from our articles for URL text in pages text dot items. In here let's create a try catch block, try pass, then accept runtime error as E. Will show a warning in the logs. The warning will be skipping the URL due to summarization error, and we are going to summarize using Gemini. For that we are going to create a new file named Gemini. This is actually a wrapper around the Gemini API for two jobs basically. One for summarizing a single page extracted text, and another one is for combining several summaries into a final research report. I have imported a few necessary modules. I have explained what all of them are. Now I am going to import from Google, import Gen AI, which is going to be necessary for summarizing AI. This is actually SDK of Gemini. Then I'm going to define the logger, and again I'm going to import .env. I guess I haven't installed .env, so let's install it. To install .env, you need to run this command pip install python.env. I hope you can see them. Let me write it properly again. Pip install python.env. Now I am going to import that .env from .env import load env. I guess something went wrong. Let me just list this in here in the requirements file, python.env. Here it is. Okay, now after this logger I am going to use this load env. With this load env we can create a .env file. Let me just create the .env file, and Again, in this URL, let me just search for env.example. Here we have .env.example file. Let me just copy this and paste it inside the code. .env.example. Here we are going to set our Gemini API key, and the model will be Gemini 2.0 Flashlight, which is free to use by API. To get a Gemini API key, you must have a Google account. Then just click on get a Gemini API key. Search for Google Gemini API key. You can create or view a Gemini API key. This is the link aistudio.google.com/API-keys. In here, let me accept all the agreements so I can create APIs, and here is the button for creating a new API. Let me select the name. You can choose any name you want, and this is the project you have to create if you don't have one, or you can just select default Gemini project. Just create a API key, then you'll have a string value, a key. This is the key, API key I'm going to use. Just click on copy key, and I'm going to paste it in here. Now we are creating a few more variables with underscore model name. This is the model we have used in our .env file. Just use that environment variable, but if we don't have any Gemini model in this environment variable, then by default it will use Gemini 2.5 Flash. Okay, the API key. This is the API key we'll get from the environment variable, and this is the instance of client from Google Gemini SDK. So we are going to use this client to use Gemini for summarizing the text. Now I'm going to create our first function, dev summarize underscore page. In here, I'll take a few parameters. URL, this is going to be type of string. Then text, this is also going to be type of string. Then again topic, this topic, actually this is going to be URL, this is going to be type of string. Then topic will also be a string, and default, by default it will return string as well. And after this topic, I want maximum characters in the page. Let me just set it max chars. This is an int value, and by default I'll set it to 1200, actually 12,000. Okay, first of all, let's trim the text to the maximum characters. So trimmed is equal text, then max characters. Okay, this is the trim text, and this is the prompt we are going to use to summarize the text. Okay, so to summarize the text, the prompt is very simple. You are a research assistant. We are actually going to give this prompt to our Gemini API, so it will summarize the text. Now I am going to lazily create and cache Gemini developer API client. For that, I am going to create a new function, that is get underscore get client, and in return it will give me Gemini client, and let's set a global client variable underscore client. If client is none, then we'll return underscore client. If client has value but there is no API key, not underscore API key, then we'll raise an exception. Gemini API key is not set, copy.env.example, which I have provided in the article. Let me show you. This is the env file, this is the env example file. Just copy this and then let's create the client underscore client. Actually it is giving me all the autocomplete, so I don't have to write everything by default. Let me just API key is equal underscore API key, then it will return the underscore client. Then we are going to call this function, create an instance, client is equal. In here I'm going to pass nothing, but I'll take this inside try catch block, try, then this client, and then exception, except, then it will be exception as E. This is the error we are going to log, Gemini summarization failed URL, and this is the error, rise runtime error again. Same text goes in here, Gemini summarization failed for the URL, and again I'm going to pass this E. Now let's get the response, create a request to the API. Response is equal client dot models dot generate content. In here we'll specify model is equal underscore model name, then we'll have contents is the prompt, and we'll get the response, and we'll extract that response inside this summary, response dot text, or it will actually extract the text from the response if there is a response. Otherwise it will just pass empty string. And in here let's use this strip. After this try catch block I'm again going to use a if not summary condition. If there is no summary, then we'll raise the exception again with this. Let me change the text a little bit. It will say Gemini returned an empty summary for URL. This is the URL. Again I'm going to return the summary from here as well. We have imported this summarize page from Gemini module, and in here we are going to use that. Inside this run function we have a try catch block, we just passed it previously. Now we are going to use the summarize page function. Now let's create the variable summary is equal summarize page, then URL text, then topic, summaries dot append. We are going to append a dictionary. It will say URL is equal URL, text is the text from these loops, and URL also from these loops, but the summary is from this summarized page function. From here we are just getting the summary back. Actually let's get rid of this text, we don't need this anymore. And in here we are going to logger.info. in here we are going to say that summarized string, then this is the URL we have summarized the text from. Then again after this for loop we are going to add a condition. If there are no values in the summaries list, then we are going to raise an exception that will say Gemini failed to summarize any of the extracted pages, and if it goes successfully then it will go to this line if there is a exception and it will rise from here, it will never go to this line. If you know the Python, you know this. And in this line we are just logging the generating final report with Gemini. Let's create a variable with name of report underscore body is generate final report, and in here I'm going to pass topic and summaries. Let's create this function. Below this summarize page, let's create another function with name of this summarize final report. In here it will take two parameters. First one will be topic, this is going to be type of string. Another one is summaries, this is going to be type of list of string, and it will return a string. Actually, what this function actually do, in this function we are going to return a full markdown formatted report as a string without the surrounding file boilerplate. Report.py handles that. We are going to create report.py later. Now let's check. If not summaries, then we'll raise an exception, that will be value error. Let me just paste it here from the blog post I have created. Then pause for a second and just create the exact same format with f-string. At this point we have summaries from multiple web pages. We need to combine them into one single piece of text. So here is the join function we have called. This merges all the summaries together. For that we have used this loop. For every item in summaries, we include source URL followed by its summary. The final combined sources string contains all of our research in one place, which will send to Gemini to generate final report. And this is the prompt we are going to use. If I just write it down word by word, it will take a lot of time and this video is going to be way too bigger. Let me explain this shortly. This prompt is basically saying to generate a markdown files from multiple combined sources we have created, and we got the summary. Now let's create a try catch block. Try, let me pass it for now, and accept exception as E, and in here Gemini final report generation is failed, and this E will say what is the reason behind this failure. If we have an exception, then it will raise the error. That will be a runtime error. Okay, now in this try catch block, let's create a client again, client underscore, get client, and after that response is equal client dot models dot generate content. In here we need to specify the name of our model we are going to use for this. Okay, underscore model name, and we'll specify the prompt inside contents prompt, and report text is going to be same as this one. Let me just copy this, we have used it before. Let me just copy this and paste it here as well. This is response text. If there is a text in the response, otherwise it will return an empty string, and it will make sure there are no white space in the text. Check in the condition if not report text, then raise an error, runtime error. This error is going to say Gemini returned an empty final report, and it will return report text. Okay, now we are going to use this generate final report. Let me import it first from Gemini. I'm going to import summarize page and generate final report, both of those function. Now add another logger saving report. This is the output path. This is the output path. By default it is report.md. Otherwise we can provide our own output path. Next, let's create final path. This is the variable we are going to create. Save report, and in here I'm going to pass topic is equal topic, then report body is equal report body, then I'm going to pass sources is equal, this is going to be a for loop, item URL for item in summaries. Okay, this is the summaries. This is just looping and using them in here. Actually this URL should be inside this double quotation mark. Again I'm going to create another parameter, output path is equal output path. Now let's create this save report function. We are going to create a separate file for creating this function, so let's create it. The name of the file will be report save report, and in here topic and summaries. What else we have? Okay, topic report body. Let me just copy this and paste it here. Okay, this topic is going to be type of string, and then this report body is also going to be type of string. Then the sources will be a list of string, then we have this output path. This is actually going to be string as well, but the default value will be report.md. With this function we are going to build and write markdown report to the disk. This will actually return absolute path of the written file. First of all, let's create that markdown file. Markdown is equal build markdown. I haven't created this function, we are going to create it. Topic, then report body, then sources. Actually we don't need this output path actually, so let me get rid of this and create this function above this. Okay, now build markdown, and okay, this build markdown function will assemble the full markdown document as a string. First of all, let's create a timestamp. I'm going to import datetime, import datetime. So let's use datetime in here. Datetime dot now str f time percentage y and percentage m, then percentage d hour month. Actually we don't need any seconds, so let's get rid of this. With this we are going to get our current timestamp, and this str f time formats into a readable string like 2026-7-8 14:30. This is the time and date all together. You can understand it. We'll include this timestamp into our final report so it is clear when the research was generated. Then let's create sources section is equal /n dot join f string I, then dot URL. This is actually in a for loop for I, comma URL in comma I I comma URL in enumerate sources, then we'll start at 1. Okay, I actually made a mistake. I have created 2 join, so this is the actual join. Sorry guys, this section sources should be inside this build markdown, and after this sources section we'll return this. This is actually a markdown string we are returning with topic and timestamp, and this is the report body, and we'll include some sources link in this sources section. Now let's come to save report again, and in here I'm going to create another variable with name of absolute path is equal os dot path dot absolute path. I guess I have imported os here. I have imported os.path, or it actually automatically imported. Then we are going to paste the output path. Here we are going to write the markdown report to the disk. For that we are going to use this with open abs absolute path. Then we are going to actually write, then f stand for file dot write, and we are going to write the markdown file. The encoding will be UTF-8, which is the standard encoding format we used every day. Now I have added another lock that will say report written to the absolute path. I'm going to return absolute path from here as well. Actually we have a few issue in this coding. This is, we are actually making it value, but this is not value, this is the data type. And let me just get rid of this equal, and in here we are using logger from main, which we don't want. Let me just go to another file. This is how we have set up logger, and we are going to do the same setup for logger as well in here. This build markdown function is responsible for creating report content. First we generate the current date and time, so every report includes a timestamp. This makes it easy to see when the research was performed. Next, we convert the list of source URLs into a numbered list. Since some web pages may fail during extraction or summarization, we only include the sources that were successfully processed. Finally, we combine everything into a single markdown document. Using a formatted string, the report includes title with the research topic, the generation timestamp, AI generated report, a numbered list of sources. Using Markdown keeps the output clean and portable. You can open it in any text editor, view it on GitHub, or convert it to HTML or PDF later if needed. Now let me break down this save report function. Once Markdown content is ready, the save report function writes it to the disk. With build Markdown, we convert the output file path into an absolute path and write the report using UTF encoding. Separating the file generation from the file writing logics keeps each single function focused on single responsibility. One function creates the content while the other handles saving it. This makes the code cleaner, easier to understand, and much simpler to extend in the future. Here we have used save report, but we haven't imported. So let me import it from report import save report. After we getting the final path, let me just return the final path. And one more thing in here, sys.exit on. If we get any error during the call of this function, we are actually going to exit the function. No longer code is going to be run. Since everything looks okay, then we are going to run the project. To run the project, we are going to run the command python main.py. It does nothing actually for me. Okay, actually we have created this main function, but we never called it. So I'm going to call it if main is equal main, then we are going to call the main function. Again we are going to run this python main.py. It's showing me an error. Okay, here we made a mistake. After this first one, we have provided this nargs. Nargs is not for long option names, so we are going to just remove them, and you can just read the error. Value error, invalid narg values. So it must be either this or some other preserved value for narg arguments. So I'm just going to run this file again. It is asking me to enter a topic, so I'm going to enter JS versus HTML. So let's see. It is saying searching. Okay, first step is done. Second step, it gets an error. In case you get any kind of error, you can just copy the same code as mine and paste it and try it. You can just ask ChatGPT what went wrong with your code, but I'm here to teach you. So just pay attention and learn what we are doing in each of the steps. Okay, here we made a mistake inside Gemini.py. If client is null, then we are just returning, but in here we should do is not null. If client is not null, then we'll return the client. We are going to return if there is already a client, otherwise we are going to create a new client instance in here. Okay, and we are going to return the client from here as well. So let me just run the file again. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see it properly. It will be JS versus HTML. It is searching on the web and all the steps are done, but it shows me another error. Okay, previously I was getting an error with code of 429, which means the token has been expired. I have exceeded the limit of my user, so I had to change the model. So it was previously Gemini 2.0, and then I changed it to Gemini 3.1 flashlight. So after doing that, it is working successfully. Python main.py, I have run this and it ran all the steps. It was asking for the topic HTML versus JavaScript. Then it ran all the 5 steps. This is the step 1, searching the web for HTML versus JavaScript. This is the step 2, extracting page text from 3 URLs, and this is the step 3, summarizing 2 pages with Gemini, and this is the 4th step, generating final report with Gemini, and this is the last step, saving report to report.md. So let me check that file, report.md, which is the file we have generated. It seems format is not proper. Actually you can fix it, no problem. Created a research report for me, HTML versus JavaScript. This is generated today in this current time. HTML and JavaScript are 2 fundamental pillars of modern web development, and this is the synthesis of perspectives, key takeaways, and this is the sources it has included. Okay, that's all for this tutorial. If you like this video, please like, comment and subscribe. It takes a lot of effort to create this kind of video. Your one subscribe means a lot to me. So it would be really helpful if you like, comment and subscribe, and it will inspire me more to create this kind of tutorial videos. Thank you for watching.